What do you do when there is a humongous pricing gap between your free tier and your second tier? What ends up happening is your users just aren't upgrading. Maybe this is you, where you feel like right now, at least, you're attracting the right users. Heck, they are even using your product a ton, but for some reason, they're just not making that leap to a paid plan. So if this is you, you should think of the ideal purchase journey as a stepping ladder. And it should feel effortless to go from one step or one plan to the next plan versus a gigantic leap of faith, which only a few people will make that gigantic leap of faith. So if you have a huge gap between your free tier and the pricing of your second tier, upgrading will be anything but effortless. Hello, everybody. My name is Wes Bush. I'm the author of the best-selling book, Product-Led Growth: How to Build a Product That Sells Itself. And if you want more content on how to build a successful product-led business, be sure to hit that subscribe button below. When you're a founder of a product-led business, you'll likely struggle with your pricing and packaging at some point of your business. And it's just not if, it's when. Let me tell you, pricing is a very tough nut to crack in any business. So this video won't have all the answers, but what I will give you is a really simple way of thinking about how you can structure the tiers in your plans. So that's the good news. By the end of this video, you'll be able to understand a way where you can actually help your users effortlessly go from one plan to the next. Because here's the real deal. Right now, if there's a huge gap between your free tier and your paid plan, there's a lot of things to consider. And here's a first one I really encourage you to consider is you must have a value metric that scales as customers use more of your product's value. What the heck is a value metric if you haven't heard about it? Well, a value metric is the way you measure value exchange in your product. Many customers will subscribe to your product based primarily on the value it provides. And so they're willing to spend time, money, and everything else in that product because they're hoping to get a return or some form of value. I'll give you a couple of examples of value metrics to kind of cement this. And while I'm going through these examples, what I want you to think about is what are some of those examples for you that could potentially apply? So for a video platform like Wistia or Vidyard, a value metric could be actually just the number of videos uploaded, because on these platforms, you are able to see the analytics of who's watching your videos. A really great way is just capping it by the number of videos you can upload. So for a communication application like Slack or Microsoft Teams, a value metric could be something as simple as the number of messages sent, or maybe even the number of users who are using the product. For a payments processing platform like PayPal or even Stripe, a value metric could be the amount of revenue generated, and you just take a percentage of that cut. A value metric is really critical to your pricing strategy because it scales as your user experiences more value in your product. The one thing to note when it comes to value metrics is we're not all created equal. There's actually two main types of value metrics. And the first one is called a functional value metric. This means your pricing scales around a function of usage. So an example of this is charging people per user or per video. And the second is more of an outcome-based metric. This means that you'll largely charge based on them achieving an outcome. For example, how many views a video received, or how much money did you make your customer, as in the Stripe or PayPal example. That's actually based on the outcome of what you're getting in the product. Ideally, you can use an outcome-based metric, but that's just not possible for every software platform out there. You got to also think about what are some of those other functional value metrics that you could charge on. So the question then becomes, how do you actually choose your value metric? And this can be super tricky, but don't worry, I'm here to walk you through this whole process. It's a 3-step process. The first step is really just to complete a subjective analysis of everything. Pull out a piece of paper and jot down everything you think could be a value metric. This is so key. Is it messages sent? Is it the number of users who are using the platform? Is it the total revenue generated? A lot of companies will pick oh yeah, it's users, like it's easy. And I always like to combat that with, is the value in your product derived based on the number of people using the product? Very few products are actually like this. Like if we think of Microsoft Teams or Slack, those products definitely, like charging by user makes a ton of sense because you get more value the more people are a part of it in your organization. But that's not the case for every company. So once you have that list of potential value metrics, I'd like you to consider these 3 questions. So the first one is it actually easy for the user to understand? And when someone visits your pricing page, do they immediately know what they're paying for and which plan makes the most sense for them? This is obviously one of the hardest questions to answer because a lot of times we can think of a value metric, but it doesn't check this because if I don't know like how many gigabytes or how many megabytes I'm using in my product, I don't know how much you're going to charge me, which makes me kind of worried because I don't know how much you're going to charge me. So the second is, does it align with the value the customer receives from the product? Consider the low-level components of your high-level component. So what does that mean? Let's say you have a live chat solution. To acquire more customers, you need to monitor how many messages customers have on their website with your live chat solution. We're simply looking for what does it actually take to achieve a specific outcome, and what core component leads someone to experience a meaningful outcome regarding your product. Is it the number of contacts used by your CRM? Is it the number of live chat conversations that are started? Is it the content they download? A great example of this is Intercom recently launched their AI product. And what they're actually charging on is the cases closed. They're charging per case closed that was solved by AI. So this is an awesome example because it is charging based on the actual usage. They know that it's going to cost less than $1 if AI solves a customer support case versus a human. So it makes a lot of sense to charge based on that. And depending on how big your business is, if you have 1,000 cases that AI closes, they charge you $1,000 that month versus just having something that scales based on the number of users who are your customer support reps. Now, the third and final question to ask is, does it grow with your customers' usage of that value? So if customers get incredible value from your product, you can actually charge them more. This is perfectly ethical and reasonable, and it's awesome as a business because you can grow the lifetime value of your customers just by picking a great value metric. So on the flip side, this also happens. You will charge your customers less if they aren't getting the full value from your product. To recap, you need to find a value metric where the answer is yes to all 3 of these questions. 1, is it easy for your users to understand? 2, does it align with the value the customer receives from the product? And 3, does it grow with your customers' usage of that value? So remember, determining your value metric will make your pricing struggle a whole lot easier. By choosing one that makes sense for your business, you're going to make it effortless for your users to upgrade or even renew. If you want some guidance with your pricing and packaging plans, I encourage you to actually check out Product-Led Academy. So it's a coaching program I put together that walks you through all the different components of building a successful product-led business, and pricing is one of those major components. Just go to productled.com/academy, where you can get all the details about the program and you can apply to join there. In that application, what we'll do is we'll ask you a few questions where we can uncover what is actually holding your business back from scaling and make sure it's a good fit. And if we can actually help you, then we can work together and get you set up for success and scaling your product-led business faster. If you've got a ton of value from today's video, I have one request. Please smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm to know this is a good video. And we love when you do that. And our team and I have put a ton of love into these videos, so we definitely appreciate it. Also, if you have a co-founder or colleague who could benefit from this video, please just share this video with them so they can get value from this video. We want to help as many SaaS founders and folks as possible. That is why I do this. Also, I drop an episode every single week on actionable product-led growth strategies and tactics. So be sure to hit the subscribe button below and the bell icon so that you'll get notified every single time I drop a new video. Happy growing.